Best Catcher's Mitts Review in 2023. If you're a veteran with years of experience behind you, maybe you will power through. But if you're not, you'll crash and fall, and so will the team. What I'm trying to say, catchers play a huge role in leading the team to victory. That's why you can't consider having the best catcher's mitt as a luxury, it's a necessity. Top 7 Best Catcher's Mitt Reviews. Top 1 is the Wilson A2K Premium. Once you keep moving forward, you'll see that I talk about two all-around mitts, the A2000 Super Skin and the Rawlings Heart of the Hide. And they are both excellent. However, they aren't in the same league as the premium big boy mitts. If you're okay with shelling out top dollars, you should definitely take a look into the Wilson A2K Catcher's Mitt. Now, Wilson A2000 Super Skin is a top shelf mitt. So why bother looking into the A2K, right? Well, if that's the train of thought you're in, just hit the brakes for a moment. A 2K is way ahead of the Super Skin in terms of performance, durability, flexibility, and convenience. Let me explain why. The Wilson A2000 Super Skin has pro stock leather. You know that it comes from the strongest of American steer hides. So, the leather is top tier. But what you may not know, the Wilson A2K comes with pro stock select leather. It's not just the addition of a single word select. It's a whole other ball game. All the leathers made in Wilson's backyard go head to head, and only a meager 5% can claim the honor of becoming an A2K. Yay, only 5% of all the leathers extracted make it to the top. So, I don't have to tell you what that means when it comes to durability. Besides, the pocket has 2 layers instead of 1. The added layer keeps your mitt stable after a fast ball contact. Plus, constant shockwaves created after repeated fast balls won't end up injuring your palms and fingers. The double palm design also prevents the ball from bouncing back from your mitt. You can get a steady hold of the ball thanks to the padded edges and multi-layered palm padding. Also, I like the color combination of this mitt. I've seen it in action, and the color combo makes it easier for the pitcher to spot. So, you can comfortably call the shots by slight movements instead of making it obvious for the batter. Pretty neat. And finally, according to the manufacturer, the craftsman put in 3 times more effort and time into making one Wilson A2K. I can't really confirm whether the statement's true or not, but I'm sure about one thing: the Wilson A2K is an incredible mitt. It's something you should consider if you want to compete at a professional level. There's no size variety, though. I mean, it's just got the standard 33.5 inches. Still, if your hands aren't really big, the fit shouldn't be a problem. The only beef I have against Wilson catcher's mitts is the long break-in period. It takes so long for the mitt/gloves to reach their full potential. But there's an upside. Longer break-in time can also translate to better and more durable gloves. It means the harder it is to break in, the better, sturdier the leather actually is. Pros of Wilson A2K Premium. Comes from the finest of American steer hides, aka Pro Stock Select Leather. The color combination helps pitchers notice the mitt from afar. Double palm design makes catching more comfortable and easier. Pro Catcher's Mitt designed for serious players looking to perform at a professional level. Cons of Wilson A2K Premium. Takes time to break in. Even more expensive than the Wilson A2000. Top 2 is the Rawlings Player Preferred. Best budget. I know what it looks like. I'm just circling around the Rawlings Wilson territory. But there's a reason. While I casually don the Louisville, Franklin, or Shoeless Joe, I try to play it safe when it comes to catcher's mitts. That's why I hover around popular names even if I'm looking at budget alternatives. Anyways, enough rambling. The Rawlings Player Preferred is of, by, and for the budget hunter. A ton of people who are into casual baseball or softball love this mitt. And honestly, there are times when I want to keep my premium mitt shelved for another day. That's when the Rawlings Player Preferred comes in handy. Don't get me wrong, though. It's not a trash mitt just because it's budget friendly. The 33-inch baseball catcher's glove from this series can take a lot of fastball hits because of the zero-shock palm padding. It's not as thick as the ones you'll find in the A2000, Ho, A2K, or All-Star Elite, but it's still decent. The trick is to pocket the fastballs quickly instead of letting them hit the edges. The edges aren't padded enough to protect you from repeated fastball impacts. Rawlings Player Preferred is made of synthetic leather. It's not made from tough cow or steer hides. But synthetic leathers have distinct advantages and disadvantages. The plus is the mitt is almost 80 to 85% ready for the game. You just need to take it out for a couple of games tops, and you'll see that it's all smooth and flexible. The downside is the leather isn't nearly as durable as the ones available in more pricey mitts. I know it's disheartening, but think about it: you're paying 1/4 of what you'd pay for a Rawlings Heart of the Hide or Wilson A2000 Super Skin, and you're paying 1/6 of the Wilson A2K's price. So, that's crazy cheap. So, I don't think there's much room for complaints here. Besides, the Mitt's overall color and the closed web become an ideal target for pitchers. A good catcher is a good momentum controller. So, you can guide your pitcher and instruct your fielders without giving out anything to the batter by simply moving your gloved hand around. So, the Rawlings Player Preferred is the best you can hope for when you have a budget leash. It's a good catcher's mitt. I know you want more features, more durability, more shiny stuff, but that's not going to happen. This mitt, even the entire glove series, is like the messiah of the thrifty nights. So, if you're short on the green, you can definitely give this mitt a shot. Pros of Rawlings Player Preferred. Inexpensive mitt, really low price point compared to premium alternatives. Impact-resistant padding can reduce palm sores/injuries. Easy to break and doesn't take more than a few days. You can use it like a baseball and softball catcher's mitt. Cons of Rawlings Player Preferred. Synthetic leather doesn't last as long. Not suitable for adults. Top 3 is the Wilson A2000 Super Skin. Best value. A lot of people may argue that I should have kept the Wilson A2000 catcher's mitt on top of the list. But hear me out, the A2K is just a step ahead. However, not everyone is willing to put down the extra buck for the A2K. That's why the Wilson A2000 reigns supreme. The Wilson A2000 is undoubtedly one of the best catcher's gloves out there. There are so many things to love about this mitt. For starters, the leather quality. It has the signature Wilson Pro Stock leather. You should already know by now that the Pro Stock leather comes from U.S. steer hides. And these leathers are tough. Many catchers use a Wilson mitt for 3 to 5 years without ever feeling the need to change it. So, you can see that it's an excellent long-term investment. And with the super skin added into the mix, the mitt doesn't weigh as much as it used to. Back in the days, mitts with top-tier leather weighed a ton because the hides were heavy. However, with the super skin, the toughness remains, but the weight is cut to half of what I was once. I loved how the glove felt when I had it on. Wilson used the Drillix wrist lining to keep the hand cool and dry while playing for hours. So, even if you're prone to sweating a lot, like me, the mitt keeps the palms and fingers less sweaty thanks to the breathable lining and material. The lacing of this mitt is really good too. Strong, perfectly placed, and guaranteed for a couple of years. All in all, ease of use, comfortable padding, high-quality leather, and unbreakable construction make it a mitt that almost always comes on top compared to other mitts. And if you're a wary skeptic, the best part is it comes with 12 months warranty. If you don't like it or having trouble, the warranty's got your back. Pros of Wilson A2000 Super Skin. Pro Stock leather plus super skin equal more durability but less weight. Thick palm padding keeps you safe from injuries. Breathable material ensures you remain comfortable after hours of playing. Easy Velcro adjustment. Cons of Wilson A2000 Super Skin. Tough to break in. Doesn't come cheap. Top 4 is the Rawlings Heart of the Hide. I know it's back-to-back Rawlings from Player Preferred to Heart of the Hide. I could have just as easily kept the Rawlings Hoe in the second position. Honestly, there can be an argument, a pretty intense one, that the Hoe can kick Wilson A2K's candy ass. Now, before I comment on it, I should tell you that Rawlings and Wilson have their separate fan bases. Even MLB pros are divided when it comes to these two titans. So, if anybody does stand a chance to go toe-to-toe against the Wilson A2K, it's the Heart of the Hide. Alright, enough with the explanation. Let's look into the specs. Remember why A2K was considered special compared to other catchers' mitts? The Pro Stock Select leather, only the top-notch leather made its way to becoming the A2K. The same thing happens with Heart of the Hide as well. The leather screening process of Hoe is excellent. Only a meager 5% of the top-shelf steer hides get the opportunity to become a Heart of the Hide. So, I don't really have to go on a limb to brag about this mitt. The leather quality speaks for itself. I've had a Heart of the Hide even before I got my A2K. Trust me, after transitioning to A2K for a brief period, I realized the performance is almost at a similar level apart from a few exceptions. For instance, the Hoe is easier to break in. Usually, when premium steer hides come to the mix, a glove/mitt can become super hard. I've seen some catchers' mitts remain stiff and uncooperative for months, even years. The Hoe, on the other hand, has softer rawhide in some parts of the mitt. That's why it doesn't have a big break in time like the A2K. Plus, the most vulnerable areas, palm, finger, and thumb, are covered with thick padding. The cushiony feel that you've come to love and expect from a Rawlings is there, and it's better. The color combo makes it stylish. Also, the pitcher won't have any trouble noticing the calls you make from the back of the plate. Finally, I think Rawlings Heart of the Hide is an incredible mitt. It's packed up with all the goodies needed to compete with all the other high-end gloves. In my opinion, it's the best high school catcher's mitt because you get premium performance within a reasonable sub $300 price point. So, if you're not keen on investing a heap of money for the A2K, you can surely go for the Rawlings Hole and save some green. Pros of Rawlings Heart of the Hide. Top-notch steer hides make the mitt durable. Palm padding and thumb protection for easier catching. Deep pockets make the experience way more comfortable. Comparatively easier break-in despite the thick and sturdy leather. Cons of Rawlings Heart of the Hide. Comparatively expensive. The lacing can be somewhat confusing. Top 5 is the Rawlings R9. All the mitts I've mentioned until now are suitable for teenagers and adults. Your young champ can still use these gloves and have a great game. But there are other alternatives like the Rawlings R9 catcher's mitt. The list would be incomplete without having a dedicated youth catcher's mitt, won't it? The first thing you should know is that it's not meant for adults. It's only 27-inch. So, adult hands won't even fit. But that's not the point. The size is big enough for t-ball players or little leaguers. And it's a perfect entry-level mitt to get your young one accustomed to the game. The leather is synthetic, similar to what you saw in the Rawlings Player Preferred. It's not high-quality American or Java steer hide, but it's not garbage pigskin either. So, you get decent performance and durability from the mitt. It has a padded thumb loop, not something I expect in a cost-effective youth mitt. But it's a good thing. Young players are in their learning stage. So, it's difficult for them to always get the ball in the pocket. More often than not, the ball's going to land on their thumbs. That's where the padded thumb loop can keep the source to a minimum. I already talked about the benefit of having synthetic leather. It breaks in way faster than cow hides and steer hides. However, the Rawlings R9 is an 80% game-ready catcher's mitt on top of the synthetic leather. So, a couple of rounds of backyard catch should get this glove all set. Plus, the color and closed webbing are ideal for catchers to control the game. Your Little League star can learn to shoulder some responsibilities by guiding the pitcher with this mitt or even changing the fielding tactics. I know it's a lot to ask from a kid, but it's good to start young and get better over time. There's some padding in the palm area as well, but it's not going to do well against a lot of fastballs. The padding is good, but it should have been a bit thicker. There's an argument here: Little League pitchers won't pitch as fast as a high schooler and nowhere near the speed of an adult. So, the palm padding can work until a certain age. And above all, the price won't choke your wallet out. It's not as cheap as the Rawlings Player Preferred. There's a slight difference in price, but it's still pretty cheap, considering the price of all the other quality mitts. Remember, it's a training mitt suitable for youth baseball players. You can make it work as a youth fast pitch catcher's mitt, but that's the most it can do. If you try to use it as an adult catcher's mitt, you'll be disappointed. So, this mitt is for young players looking to understand the game better and put some training hours in to get good. The overall quality, performance, and construction are more than enough to comfortably label it as the top youth catcher's mitt. Pros of Rawlings R9. Designed specifically for young baseball players. Thick thumb padding protects players from injuries. Deep pocket for a comfortable catching experience. Affordable mitt for youngsters. Cons of Rawlings R9. Palm padding could have been better. Synthetic leather isn't as durable as hide-based leathers. Top 6 is the All-Star Pro Elite Catcher CM3000BK. Best premium. Not that I've mentioned a budget mitt and a youth mitt. It's time to go back to my usual top-shelf premium mitts. It's not just Wilson and Rawlings that manufacture high-end mitts. If you ever had the pleasure of using an All-Star mitt, you'd know. The All-Star Pro Elite CM3000BK is at the top of the mitt mountain, competing for the title of the best catcher's mitt. Anyways, what makes this mitt stand out from the rest? For starters, it's not made of US steer hide or Java steer hide. In fact, the leather comes from Japan. If you're up to speed on your leather trivia, you should know that the Japanese kip leather is the best out there, no questions. Although the All-Star Pro Elite CM3000BK doesn't have kip leather, it comes with the Japanese steer hide. It's not on kip leather's level, but it's pretty close. The big downside to using steer hide leather on a glove or mitt is that the break-in time increases exponentially. Even with a lot of break-in techniques, you might not get the glove ready for an important game. With that said, the Japanese steer hide is a bit different. The leather quality remains the same: sturdy, thick, and reliable, but the glove is still soft and manageable. It doesn't become an ogre that you have to wrestle with in order to get it disciplined. The simple design with a Velcro adjustment strap makes this mitt a boon for convenience lovers. Laced adjustment straps can be somewhat difficult to get used to, but the Velcro designs make it as easy as pie. Plus, the pocket is really spacious. When you catch the ball, you'll hear an oh-so-satisfying pop. The deep pocket will let you control different types of incoming pitches with ease. There's a thumb, finger, and palm padding for increased protection against repeated contact. As a catcher, you'll have to catch all the strikes and balls. So, the mitt has to be strong enough to withstand such abuse. The All-Star Catcher's Mitt has what it takes to stand strong against tons of rough housing. The one I've mentioned here is 33.5 inches. If you need more sizes, check this out: All-Star Pro Elite 34-inch or All-Star Pro Elite Series 35-inch. Pros of All-Star Pro Elite Catcher CM3000 BK. Best premium. The Mitt is a durability beast, lasts for years. Thumb, fingers, and palm are protected with thick padding. Easy Velcro adjustment. Deep pocket equal more catching comfort. Cons of All-Star Pro Elite Catcher CM3000 BK. Best premium. Even more expensive than most premium mitts. Needs some getting used to. Top 7 is the Mizuno Prospect GXC 105. I already have listed a youth catcher's mitt here, but the Rawlings R9 is more like a training glove / mitt. It's not what I'd call a fully developed catcher's mitt yet. It's a good entry-level mitt you can use to train your toddlers, but it's far from being the best youth catcher's mitt. Anyways, that's why I decided to introduce another youth mitt to the fray. The Mizuno Prospect GXC 105 Youth Catcher's Mitt is perfect for ages 5 to 10. Why? Because with this mitt, you can save a ton of money, use it for a long time, get a mid-tire mitt that'll work fine till high school. The one striking feature that I've noticed right out of the gate when I unpacked it is the mitt's almost entirely broken in. You can close and open the mitt with ease from the get-go. Plus, it's soft and snug. It won't create any pressure or discomfort in your hand. Also, you'll find the nice and meaty pop sound that I always refer to when the incoming fastball hits the pocket. The pocket is deep and padded enough to minimize impact shocks created from repeated balls. The fitting is all good as well. It's neither Velcro or complicated leather straps. You have a single strap that goes through hoops. You just need to pull the strap to your side to tighten it or do the opposite to loosen it up. Even if it sounds a bit confusing now, you'll see it's really easy when you try it out. And if you're struggling to open and close the mitt, you can always remove the last 2 laces. It's not something you can do with a lot of gloves. Even if you can, you need to know your way around laces to make sure you don't mess up. However, Mizuno GXC 105 Youth makes it really easy. You just pull the 2 laces out, and you can get a more comfortable catching experience. However, you should know that the Mizuno GXC 105 is just a step above an entry-level mitt. It's not anything spectacular. The leather is made of pig skin. So, unlike the thicker and sturdier steer and cow hides, the pig skin is much more fragile. But it's still one of the best youth catcher's gloves because kids around 5 to 10 can't pitch beyond 40-50 miles per hour. So, the mitt has more than enough meat to handle that kind of speed. Plus, the easy break-in, affordable price point, and overall flexibility make this an ideal mitt for youngsters. And the GXC 105 is one of the only models that offer a left-handed catcher's mitt. So, if you're a lefty catcher, this is probably your best bet. Pros of Mizuno Prospect GXC 105. Can get into action almost instantly, little to no break-in time needed. Palm padding and liners keep the impact shocks to a minimum. Lace removal option gives players some flexibility. Cost-effective mitt won't take a huge chunk out of your wallet. Cons of Mizuno Prospect GXC 105. Pigskin leather isn't as durable as steer hides or cow hides. Can have difficulties with fitting.